trying to get some essential oil fusions out of my like spray here, but it's empty. Let me tell you all. Oh, this is She That Exists, which is her story channel. So, what I've been doing is I have my plasma energy water, right? Plasma energy. So this is She That Exists, which She That Exists, her story channel. And plasma energy water is really full right now. But yeah, so what I've been doing is I've been adding the plasma energy water into my fusion of essential oils. And I've been making my own all natural perfume. So you can do the same. And if you want a discount on plasma energy products, then I am your go-to woman and I can get you that. I've done several videos and I put the website where you can get the products, and then I put my affiliate code, which gets you a discount. And then when you purchase it, you also get private access into my Plasma Energy Solutions experiential learning classes. So something that I want to like add onto from my last video is I shared a little bit of my creative projects that I have going on right now. And one of my creative projects that I have going on right now is making a homemade vase for flowers for yourself. This is my flower bouquet that I bought for myself today. And it goes like with self-love and self-honor and self-respect. I also bought some flowers for a friend. So tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to like show the flowers like that I got for my friend, and then I'm going to show the flowers for myself. And my flowers, I'm doing like this plasma energy water experiment because plasma energy solutions water is for pets and for plants and for organic sentient beings and humans, so to speak. So I'm doing this whole like experiment where I'm going to see which flowers stay freshest the longest. And children at home, you can do this like for your science project for school. You can purchase your plasma energy solution products from me, like, and with my affiliate code and get your discount, and then like come into my classes and share your experiences. And the private classes are only for people who use my affiliate code. Okay. They're not for anybody else. Only people who use my affiliate code. But we'll do like, I'm doing an experiment right now to see which flowers last the longest and stay freshest the longest. The flowers, aren't these pretty? I bought these for myself today. The flowers that are plasma energy solution flowers, or fluoride tap water, which fluoride calcifies the pineal gland. It's classified as a toxin. So basically it's dead water. I did put the plant powder in my friend's water. So that's kind of like the experiment that we have going on here. And then, of course, I'm going to paint this tomorrow. I'm not going to do it tonight. There's another creative project that I'm working on for a gift for my daughter, Freedom. That's her name. And I've got this shoebox that I got going on here. And I'm painting it. Like, I'm painting the front. And these are some flowers that like fell off, like my flower bouquet. And so I'm going to dry the flowers. And then once the flowers are dried, then I'm going to decoupage them onto the box. And then, I mean, it's a Vans box right now. However, whenever I'm done, it's going to be a keepsake box. So, okay, I want to talk about some things that are really, 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 really important. But I still kind of want to get the flowers. And I want to get the flowers in the camera. Trusty, come here. Trusty the medicine doggy is on the bed behind me sleeping. So everybody I would say hi to Trusty the medicine doggy. However, he's on the bed. He's sleeping. He would come up, but he's not. His nub is wagging though. His nub is wagging. Okay, so this video is called I forgot the name of the video, but it's trusting yourself, believing yourself, knowing yourself, embodying yourself, accepting yourself, trusting yourself, believing in yourself, and knowing yourself. Shoot, I need to write that down. This is going to be really powerful. Just bear with me. Literally everything that I create because I'm inspired, because it's needed, and somebody needs this message. So, accepting yourself, trusting yourself, believing in yourself, and knowing yourself. Those are all like really deep things, right? So, I'm a life coach. I'm also a self-mastery guide. And a little bit about me is I I grew up playing several different instruments. I grew up creating like Christmas Eve performances for my parents, and like I would create like the whole entire theatrical performance, song, dance, you name it. I was a gymnast. I won a gold medal in vault. I think that I was in like some free and accepted Mason parades. I say I think because I think they were the ones who put on the parades. However, I did gymnastics in the public parades, as well as baton twirling in the parades. I played volleyball, softball. I did some bowling. I took my team to state in softball by my winning home run with like two other people on base, and it was raining, so that was kind of like a cool thing that I was able to do that while it was raining. And then we went to tri-state. So I've done all sorts of stuff like that. And then I have a degree in liberal arts and aesthetics, which is skincare and beauty. And skin is the largest organ. So there's a lot to say with that, like just the science of the skin in itself, because essentially we are one big bag of skin. And maybe like one day I'll do just like a whole video on that. And I went like deeper with that degree into all natural skincare, plant-based skincare, all natural like health. Then let's see, then after that, oh, I got married, started a family. My biological mom was like, "We cannot be friends until you get married and have children." So I was like, "Oh, I can't be friends with my mom until I get married and have children," because that was like the stipulation. And I always wanted my mom's approval, and I always wanted my mom to love me. Um, However, whenever I was a child, that was not the case. The love was not present. And so I thought, okay, well, if I get married and I have children, then my mom will love me, because that's what she said, right? Like, that she would love me and we could be friends if I got married and had a child. So I prayed and I asked God, Creator, to bless me with a child, and God answered my prayers. The guy that I married, that's to be continued, and it's like a whole entire novel. Because I found out that like, you know, like that whole like duality, that whole like black and white polarity, he's got like that whole war going on with inside of himself, and he is still in it. Like he's still fighting himself, and he is fighting himself so hard. He ended up like threatening to murder me when it came to like my daughter. And the two choices that he gave me was he was either going to have me murdered, or he was going to have me placed as a political prisoner of his war. Then he got involved with like, I think he was always involved with these bad people. because basically they control and dominate his life. And so that's why those who watch this channel, they hear me like talk about cults and organized religion and the cartels and organized crime and human trafficking, because he made some bad decisions and has his life involved in all of that. And I've been going into my own struggles with loving him safely from a distance and unconditionally loving him because he's my daughter's father. However, he's a criminal, he's a trafficker, he's involved in the cartels. He did the most horrible things that any guy could do to a woman and her child, by threatening to murder the mother of his own child. Um, so obviously he's going through his own battle with his own goodness. And so that's story to be continued. If anybody feels led or guided to pray for him, his name is Scott, and his middle name is David. And he is a managing partner for the corporation Auto Cartel. And here in Texas, the senator and the Texas attorney general, they've actually stepped forward and created strategic plans to end the cartels and trafficking in Texas. And I love the fact that they've taken lead on this, because I truly believe that what Texas is doing right now, that they can make a difference in all the other states. And Texas is my home state and my daughter's home state. I'm Texas born and Texas proud. So I truly believe that a difference can be made. And in my heart of hearts, I knew that guys can come out of this. They could come out of the darkness into the marvelous light, and females who are not confident in themselves and their knowing, and not confident in their identity as children of God and children of Creator and the Most High, that they can come out and they can make a difference too. However, when they're in those types of situations, they're actually hurting innocent children. And so it's really sad, because and their insecurities like really ruin them and ruin other innocent lives. Um, I'm trying to fix like a piece of jewelry that I have, this pendant, and it's really cool like when this is on top of it here, because it magnifies it in like a really cool way. I knew like my camera is not like the absolute best, and the lighting in here right now, it's 11:49 p.m. at night. However, I have this E6000 glue, and it's all dried up. So just that's a little bit more about me. After, let's see, before my daughter's dad threatened to murder me, and gave me two choices, either to be murdered or to be a political prisoner in his war from his own insanity and his mental illness and emotional illness and spiritual sickness. I decided, since I was divorced, that I needed to like do something, and I decided to go back to school, and I had an opportunity to get my mastery in consciousness. And that was really cool, because consciousness is like consciousness is pretty much like where education is leading. Pretty much, consciousness is like the forefront of education. Trusty the medicine doggy came up. Hold on. There's the baby boy, Trusty. Trusty Roo. Okay, so consciousness is like the future of education, and it's higher education. And I'll start teaching the basics of consciousness in some future classes, but you all have to email me at SheThatExists at Proton Mail and like say, I want to sign up for your classes. And then I'll start teaching them. So I have my mastery in consciousness, and my degree is a responder ray, which means to respond to your soul's calling, right? And that is kind of like where I want to go with this. After I graduated, and like toward the end of my graduation, I ended up receiving this vision, right? And it was a vision from Creator God, and it was to create my own show. I didn't know it when I received the calling that it was going to be such an incredible event in my life and like such a huge learning experience. However, after I received the vision, I ended up creating, directing, producing, funding, organizing, emceeing, and hosting my own show called The Moonflower Show. And there were different people in the community who were a part. And I ended up like just offering people, you know, opportunities to shine in their gifts and their talents and their purpose and what they were passionate about, whether it was singing or playing an instrument or serving in community, um, or feeding the homeless, you know, you name it. Um, I just opened my heart and just gave and gave and gave and gave and gave. Um, that was a learning experience in itself because like the good, the bad, and the ugly, everybody came out. And it was a good learning experience because I learned that not everybody is authentic, not everybody is real, um not everybody is who they say they are, right? um and so I learned that not everybody was loving, not everybody was kind, not everybody was a friend, not everybody was genuine, right? And one of the things that God is always going to like show us is who the true people are and who is like wolves in sheep's clothing. And that was just the beginning of when Creator God was like helping me teach me like how to test the spirits to see who people really are. And before that, I didn't know that like people wear different masks in societies like to fit in, and they show like different sides and different parts of themselves. So it was a really good opportunity for me. Um, then after that, that's when Scott, um, by this time we were divorced. Um, that's, I guess, when he started like getting jealous of me that good things were happening in my life. Um, and so shortly after that, that's when he threatened to murder me. And that's when I guess he was like really deep into the free and accepted Masons and like the cults and I think Satanism and human trafficking, drug trafficking, gun running, child running, and that's how he was like making his living. And so, of course, you know, he was in a war inside of his own head, right? Like, am I good? Am I bad? Like, am I living my purpose? You know, obviously, he hasn't figured out life, and he knows that till this day that he's not figured out life like at all. And I've tried to help him. I've held the space of grace for him. Yeah, this E6000 glue is completely dried up. I wanted to fix my necklace tonight. So he's completely lost. Um, I think my daughter's starting to figure that out, that he's not who he says that he is. He basically like tried to have me murdered and made attempts to have me human trafficked, tortured, held in like these free and accepted Mason holding houses. My biological father worked with them because they're like a part of the same boys club. Um, and they did a lot to my daughter that they shouldn't have done and caused her a lot of confusion. And God is not a God of confusion. It's taken me a lot like to get to this point where I could even express this without crying, because it was very hurtful to me that my own father and the father of my daughter would try to murder um, his own child's mother. That was in 2016. And then after that, they targeted me and targeted me and targeted me. And so I've been sitting back and I've been healing and clearing the trauma, right? Those who watch this channel know that I offer life coaching sessions for people who have survived sadistic ritual abuse. Those who watch this channel know that I offer support groups for people who have survived any type of trauma, sadistic ritual abuse, organized crime, gang stalking, slander, character assassination, or any of those things, because I've survived it. So, with saying all that, I say this. It's really important for us to accept ourselves. It's really important for us to trust ourselves. It's really important to believe in ourselves. And it's really important for us to know ourselves. It's actually life and death for us to accept, trust, believe, and know in ourselves. I think about how my biological parents played a part in the attempted murder of my life and the trafficking and the torture. And that was very heart-wrenching. Right? It devastated me. Our biological parents are not always going to love us. If you do have biological parents that love you, like I love my daughter, it's a gift and it's a blessing. I've gone all the way before and stood before a national human rights tribunal to claim my daughter, because if it were up to my daughter's father and if it were up to my biological parents, they would have made sure that I was dead and murdered and that my daughter didn't have a mother, and that's not love. So not everybody knows what love is. Okay, we're living in a really messed up society. However, there are still good people in the world that know what love is. But a lot of things in society are really backwards right now. Okay, which is why I come on here and share, because I believe that those that are searching for the truth, those that are searching and truly desiring to know the truth and asking for eyes to see and ears to hear, that they will find these messages. I speak from living experience and I speak from a place of grace. So let's talk about believing in yourself first. And I'll even check that off. I wrote it down. One of the most important things about believing in ourselves is ignoring the opinions of others. When you have a gift, and as a coach who is a master at coaching the gifted and talented, when you have a gift, there are going to be others that will purposely push you down. Okay, they will purposely get you to doubt yourself. I did not know that where I was living was close to the entertainment epicenter of Texas, and I had no idea anything about anything, because I actually am a survivor of mental, emotional, and ongoing spiritual abuse. And so I live most of my life unconscious. And that's okay, because it's given me a gift of perception that I would not have otherwise. So it's given me superpowers as a coach, and superpowers as a gifted and talented individual, and superpowers in my field as a life coach and a self-mastery guide, and one who coaches gifted and talented people, and it's given me superpowers when it comes to helping people recover themselves as soul. Okay. So I didn't know, that there were people who were absolutely, completely and jealous and envious of me. I just thought that it was my sister. But I didn't know that there were more. And there was this one guy who filmed my show. He pretended to be my friend. We also were classmates at the school that I was going to at the time, and he pretended to be my friend. And one of the ugly things that he said to me is like, "Well, you're not good at everything." And but he later admitted to me that he was jealous and envious because he was always the one behind the camera, and he wanted to be the one in front of the camera. And I thought that was just really dumb and lame and stupid because we all have gifts and talents. Like, we all have great purpose. And I think that this culture inside the United States corporation has gotten really out of control whenever it comes to like icons and celebrities and entertainment and all those different things. And I mean, it's just out of control. I'll just keep it like that. Um, And we need to realize, like, that we're all here to help each other. We're all here to support each other. Like, there are so many people that would love to be able to know how to film and how to get behind a camera to be able to film a show and to edit a show and to learn the software to be able to do so. And so here this guy is who, oh, he ended up stealing the film to my show. He's a thief. So here this guy is like, he's jealous because he's not the one in front of the camera. However, he has all these awesome gifts and talents from God, yet he's jealous and envious that he's not like the one in front of the camera. And so his jealousy and envy caused him to become a thief, and um he stole my film, like, to my show. And because creator God is real, he's gonna have to face that at some point if he doesn't give it back. And I'm very loving. Like, I'm very loving, I'm very grace filled, I'm very generous, and I give my all. And I'm friends with everybody, probably to the point of my own detriment. And so that's something he's going to have to live with. And that's an example of ignoring the opinions of others, because everybody's going to have an opinion. And usually, when people are insecure and jealous, they're going to push you down. They're going to be rude to you. They're going to be fake, right? Like pretending, but they're not. I've experienced that a lot. Um, and that is something that I've noticed, like different opinions of people and how, like, they're just like total jerks. And what I realized is it has to do with their own insecurities. So whatever they do or whatever they feel or whatever they think, whatever they say, you cannot take it personally. And other people are going to have their own opinion, according to however they feel about themselves. And if they're being mean to you, or if they're judging you, or if they're gossiping about you, or if they're just like flat out lying about you, it's not about you, it's about them. I had a female um, who's local in the area. She, oh my God, as soon as I heard about her or even like met her, came into contact with her, she was always jealous of me, always envious of me. I could never understand why, like never, ever, ever, ever. And there was even like at one point within the last year or so, she admitted to me that like she's putting like death spells on me in her witch coven. And in her witch coven, like she's actually putting death spells on me, and that she hates me and she's mad because I will not die. That's somebody who has like some serious mental issues right there. And I don't like the fact that I even, like have had that experience in my life, to know that somebody is that like insecure and jealous and broken inside. Um It's really sad. Like, it's really sad, especially because whenever I first, like, found out about this individual, I like, my thoughts about them were like, "Wow, like, she sings really well. She's talented. I like how she, presents herself or plays her instruments." And, it's so sad that people, like, get to that place where they're just, like, so insecure in themselves and so jealous of other people that they are getting together with witches and covens to put death spells on people and curses on other people to die. However, um, that's why we cannot, like, listen to the opinions of other people. Like, I've had people gaslight me, I've had people slander me, I've people say just all kinds of stupid things. Like, I've heard it all. Like, I have heard every stupid thing that anybody could even say. And I finally realized, like, I can't take those things personally and can't even take their opinions of me seriously. Um, because it's not about me, it's about them and how they feel about themselves inside. And it was hard. Some of it was hard because one of them was my friend from middle school. And it's hurtful when, like, it's somebody from your childhood, because you have more of, like, an emotional bond or an emotional attachment there. However, you cannot let these people infect you. Okay? So, believe in yourself. I say all of that to say believe in yourself, because there are going to people that are so jealous and so envious that they will see you as something that they have to knock down. They will see you as something that they have to put down. They will see you as someone that they think that it's okay to mentally and emotionally and verbally abuse. And that's not okay. So, not everybody has parents who have taught them to believe in themselves. So, I'm here to tell you, the viewer of this video, to believe in yourself. Okay? So important to believe in yourself. The world will say, believe in Jesus, believe in Buddha, believe in, like, I don't know, there's like 5 million zillion religions. However, at the end of the day, if we don't believe in ourselves, then how are we going to fulfill our purpose? How are we going to fulfill our life purpose? Because every single one of us here have a life purpose that is essential to the continuation of this world, right? Believe it or not, we all have a purpose. Nobody's life is in vain, right? We all have purpose. And God, the creator who lives within us, has made it essential that we believe in ourselves, because when we believe in ourselves, then we believe in the creator God who lives within. Okay. So, the next topic that we'll talk about is accepting yourself, because you have to accept yourself before you can trust yourself, and you have to trust yourself before you can know yourself. But it's important that you first believe in yourself, because we cannot know ourselves until we believe in ourselves, and the process is going from believing to knowing. Okay, so not everybody had parents that were loving. Okay, I have biological parents still today that are not loving, that are not kind, that are not accepting. Uh, they accepted me as long as I was performing publicly for them in sports and athletics, because it made them look good in front of society, because that's all that they cared about, keeping up with the Joneses. About my feelings, they never cared about my heart. They never cared about connecting with me, knowing me, seeing, feeling me, right? And I know I'm not the only one. I know that there are plenty of people who never felt seen or loved or cared for or accepted as a child. So it's really important that we accept ourselves, right? Uh, a lot of people's parents, and especially in my case, my parents were never able to love me. They were never able to accept me because they were covered in their own guilt and their own shame and their own knowing of all the things that they had done wrong or the mistakes that they had made, or when they turned their back on their own conscience and mistakes that they had made along the way that were against like their own conscience. Okay. And so they're still to this day not able to even be in my presence, especially with them knowing that I am a child of God and that I am pure of heart and that I do have a relationship with Creator God, because they don't, because their guilt and their shame has kept them separate because they've turned against their own conscience. So they're not even able to be in my space because it is so sacred, and because they are choosing to be at a lower vibration, and because they are choosing not to repent and not to confess and not to choose a more excellent way, then they cannot even be like in my sphere, because my frequency does not match their frequency, and so it repels them. And so until they're able to repent and confess and choose a more excellent way, they have more work to do with inside of themselves. And I call it the inner work. One of the things that I specialize in is inner work. Another thing that I specialize in is being a family restoration guide. There's so many broken families, and what you'll see with broken families is everybody wants to play the blame game instead of just repenting, choosing a more excellent way, and confessing, and just like coming with an open heart, bearing their soul to their loved ones. And one of the last times that I spoke to my biological siblings is I just got down on my knees and I said, "Hey, will you forgive me for anything that I've knowingly done wrong or unknowingly done wrong or unconsciously done wrong?" And she could not forgive, but that's because she was not able to forgive herself, right? When people are not able to forgive themselves, they cannot forgive others. And that's a huge sign, okay? Because all forgiveness is self forgiveness. I'm drinking my Plasma Energy Solutions water. All forgiveness is self forgiveness. And that's something that you can go deeper into for your own journey. And when you're able to forgive yourself, right? For everything that you didn't know along the way. Because, like, we don't all have parents that, know everything, and the world is just kind of waking up, right? Like, we're just now kind of waking up. And that's okay. My biological father, he was in the Vietnam War, and he was in Vietnam. So when he came back, he just brought the war home. And so, we just, I think that they just kind of dealt with what they had, and that's okay. You know, the only thing that I would wish for my biological parents to do differently is for them to just accept that they just did kind of like what was typical, in the world. Sometimes I wish they'd say, well, it was just the 80s. And so this is what we did. It was the 80s. And that would be enough, you know? Um, So accepting yourself is the second step. The first step is believing in yourself. Um, but before you can know yourself, you got to believe in yourself, right? And before you can know yourself, you have to accept yourself. And that's a process of self forgiveness. And all forgiveness is self forgiveness. Then there's oh, I want to add with accepting yourself is being immune to poison. And that goes back to the local witch who told me she's a part of a witch coven and she put death spells on me and came together with her witch coven to put spells on me and to do rituals for me to die because she's jealous and envious of me because she's so insecure in herself, a musician in the area. That's absolute poison, right? And then my daughter's dad, because he was so insecure of himself and was caught up with criminals and trafficking and the cartels and was jealous and envious of me because I was on the right life path and because I was creating something beautiful with my life, and I still am. When he threatened to have me murdered and he trafficked my daughter through his free and accepted Mason cartel and his secret brotherhood, all of those things are poison. Especially when you're, in my case, my own parents participated in the trafficking and the cartels and the trafficking and the attempted murder of my life. That is pure poison. So when people gossip about you, that is poison. The scriptures are clear. We're not to gossip. That is like absolute low vibrational, right? Um, People who are connected to God and on their highest life path, and people who have a vision for their life, they're not sitting around gossiping about other people, because people who have a vision for their life, they're like living that vision out, right? And when there's not a vision, what happens? People perish. That's what the scriptures say. My people perish for a lack of knowledge, and without a vision my people perish. And so we cannot take gossip or poison or other people's words or even people wanting us to die and joining witch covens because they think that's going to give them some kind of power over life and death, whenever we know that God is the only creator and the only one who has power of life and death. So we must be immune to poison. So immunity to poison in the middle of hell, it's definitely a gift. And when you can master that, that is a part of self-mastery. So when we are immune to poison, that is a part of self-acceptance and self-love. And when you're on the path of self-mastery and you know you're gifted and talented and you're connected to your soul's purpose and you're following the vision that has been given to you of your life, you're going to have people rise up. That's just a matter of fact of life to come up against you. And it's like the hero's journey, the heroine's journey, that you're going to have these obstacles and you're going to have to face these things um, on your own, like to gain that strength, right? Because we're here to be set apart. Those of us who are chosen, right? Many are called, few are chosen. And those of us who are chosen, we're going to have challenges. And the beautiful gift of that is that Creator God has created us with a backbone and created us with a spine. And so we are created to stand on our own, set apart and protected by the one in charge. So, after you believe in yourself, you need to accept yourself. But a part of accepting yourself, like I said, self-forgiveness, is you also have to trust yourself. And once you learn how to trust yourself, you're able to speak openly and honestly, like I am now. And when you speak openly and honestly, you don't have to make like assumptions. And being able to communicate clearly and being impeccable with ourselves and our word and who we are, that's really important whenever it comes to trusting ourselves. I know people who they can't trust themselves because they don't believe in themselves. And once you start believing in yourself and having confidence in who you are, knowing that Creator God does not make mistakes, and I don't care if you were born in the slums or if you were born homeless or if your parents were sexually abusive to you, or they passed you around and traded you to the elites and trafficked you to politicians. Okay. You have a huge purpose on this earth. Creator God does not make mistakes, right? In fact, those of us who have been through some of the most challenges in life are the ones who have the greatest calling on our life. And that's just the duality and the polarity that we were born into. However, once we master that duality, and once we master that polarity, and once we master that realm of like lower vibrations, that is whenever we ascend and we have the ability and the power through our self mastery and our self knowing to bring heaven down onto earth and create our own heaven on earth. So, a requirement to be able to trust yourself is to believe in yourself and forgive yourself for all the things that you didn't know before you knew it, right? And then loving yourself, like, oh my gosh, like, love, 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 love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself free. Love yourself whole. All the places that like your mother or your father was not able to fill, don't look to like a husband or wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a man friend or a woman friend to fill that void. Fill those voids with your own love. That is the most powerful thing that you can do. Rather to get lost in staring at a television screen, to just like numb out, or to distract yourself from reality, just to be entertained. Consciously, intentionally love yourself instead of getting like bogged down with work and allowing your work to take over your life. Like I know people who like their work is all they have. So like even when they're off work, they're still like working and they think that that identifies them and defines them. However, it doesn't. Like giving your life to a corporation, which a corporation is just a corpse, a dead entity. So you don't want to give your life to a dead entity, right? And just because you're working overtime for a corporation, one that's not going to save you, that's not going to like help you master yourself in this lifetime. One of the biggest steps to self mastery and self knowing is to love yourself. And it's just like little things like nurturing yourself, caring for yourself, hot baths, spending time alone with yourself, um, like doing things that you love, like, and the way that you can do that is like, what did you do when you were a child? Like, go back to those things, get lost in your own world. I was at the grocery store today and I bought myself these awesome flowers. And I'm going to paint this jug tomorrow and it's filled with plasma energy water. So my flowers are getting plasma energy water, right? Only the best. Only the best. Put some glitter on it too. So, okay, after you're learning to trust yourself, that's whenever you go from believing to knowing. And you can't get from believing to knowing yourself, from believing in yourself to knowing yourself without accepting yourself, trusting yourself, and loving yourself. So there are like set steps, and self-mastery is a process. So when I offer my services for self-mastery and self-development, and you sign up to work with me, it's not going to be easy. That I can guarantee, because I'm going to challenge you and I'm going to challenge you to challenge yourself. And you are the greatest self investment that you could ever make. And investing in yourself is the greatest investment that you can make. One of the most important things about knowing yourself is staying in the present moment, okay? Not only do you want to keep your attention on today, you want to stay in the present moment and keep your attention right here in the present moment now. The present moment of now, it's not only just the beginning of a new understanding, it's not just the beginning of a new dream. It's it's so much more than that, because when you're in the present moment of now, you're not living in the past, which what happens like when we get caught up in the past. When you get caught up in the past, you're like focusing on past mistakes, what you could have done different, what you could have done better, past fears, past traumas, um, all of those things. Whenever you're worried about the future, you're living in fear, you're fretting, you're living in anxiety, you're worried about what is to come, and the future's not even created yet, right? Because we're co-creating with God in the present moment of now. And like that's pretty huge that like creator God has like given us that ability and like given us that gift in life to be able to co-create like with God, like the creator of the whole entire universe, and that God dwells within us. I always let everybody know, like, connect within. Um, when we don't go within, we go without. When we take the time to be still and to be quiet, um, that is when we are connecting with God. And so many people are so busy. They're just going, 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 going. They don't even know like what they're doing. They're just staying busy, staying busy, staying busy. So you want to take time to yourself. I take at least an hour and a half every day before I even get up out of bed. And I just sit with myself in the quiet and in the peace of each day being a new beginning and being a new blessing. And I just stay quiet and I just go within and I say, okay, God, okay, Creator, today's a new day. What do you want me to do with it? Today's a gift. Like, guide me, direct me, tell me what to do. And I connect to God within. And that's the greatest relationship we're ever going to have, is within ourselves. And so we definitely, definitely make sure that you take time for that. And not only do I connect before I wake up and ask for guidance every day before I wake up, I stay prayerful throughout the day, because every thought is a prayer, every breath we take is a prayer, and every moment is a prayer, and life is a prayer, and life is a gift. And every prayer and every thought and every breath is sacred, and it's part of life, is ceremony. And I want to inspire you all, whoever is connecting to this video, because you're on your highest and best for your life path, and you're here to respond to your soul's calling, and you know that you have purpose, and you're seeking, and you know that you're here because your life has meaning, and you know you have gifts or talents or purpose, and that you're here for something that is important. When you have ideas, my daughter, she'd tell me, she'd go, Mom, I have an idea. And I say, what is it? Like, let's do it. Let's take action on all your ideas, and she said, I have an idea. And always take action on your ideas. Like, always, 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 always take actions on your ideas. And always do your best, because doing your best, is what we're here to do. And maybe you have an idea and it doesn't turn out the way that you want to, or the way you thought it would. However, when you take action on your idea, the great thing about that is you're going to learn. You're going to learn from it. And that's what we're here for. And you can have all the ideas in the world, but if you don't take any action, then there's not going to be any manifestation. There's not going to be any materialization. There's not going to be any results. And so, unless we take action on our ideas, we're not going to be able to receive the harvest or the reward, right? So, I know that fear gets in the way, okay? And um, as a self mastery guide and as a coach, I would say that the number one fear that people have, and the number one fear that I had to break through myself, is fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown. And what's the worst that could happen, right? I was thinking like some really bad things that could happen. You could be homeless, you could die, right? Like fear of death. People have that fear. However, Creator God is the one in charge of life and death. And one of the things that I know to be true from my own near death experiences is that until our purpose here is complete, then we're going to be here. We're not going to die. And one of the things that I could share from my own experiences with my ex-husband, my daughter's dad, who threatened to have me murdered or to be a political prisoner of his war. He made sure that like all of my savings account was drained. He made sure that my life was targeted. He did everything he could to hurt me, including trying to have me trafficked and traded to the Mexican cartels. And then again, God, the Creator God, is in control, because Creator God created this universe and created this world that we live in. And we're not going anywhere until we fulfill our purpose, right? So don't let fear consume you. I have a friend that I've been developing a relationship and friendship with online, who lives in the UK, and not like a relationship like that is anything except a friendship. However, they are so consumed with fear and worry, because of the things that are going on in the world that are less than love. Yes, there's evil in the world. Yes, if we don't do something about the cartels, it's going to get really ugly. And if we don't do something about trafficking, then it's family as we know it is just going to be no more. Especially if we don't clear our hearts and do our inner healing work and do intergenerational trauma work, then family as we know it is going to just disappear. And pedophilia is not a conspiracy, and it only causes intergenerational trauma. Incest is something that we need to look at, something that needs to be addressed, not just in the church. It's something that needs to be addressed overall. I have my mastery in consciousness, and right now I'm also earning my International Bachelor of Ministry. There are things that we need to look at, not just politically, not just spiritually, not just socially, but we really need to go deeply into intergenerational trauma and intergenerational wounds, because family is sacred. And when Creator God created family, that is the most sacred entity that God created, that Creator created. And it's like God's original jurisdiction. And that's a whole separate video for me to go in. And in fact, it's a book that I need to publish. So I know these things are probably deep and things that most people don't even want to look at. However, this is where we're at in the world today, and it's something that people need to face, and it's something people need to look at. And people say like that they want to change the world, that they want to make a difference in the world. However, the only way that you can make a difference in the world is by going within and making a difference within yourself. And that starts by doing intergenerational trauma work within yourself and intergenerational wounding work and going in and clearing your DNA and the fault lines in your DNA. And we have more broken, dysfunctional families, not just in the United States, in the whole entire world. And it's time that we look at that. You know, I come from a dysfunctional family. I come from a broken family. I come from a family where there is not love present. And everybody lives in like a superficial, fake facade world except for me. And when denial is the way that you get through life, you're not facing your own reality. I have biological parents who cover for the cartels and cover for human trafficking of women and children and murder of women. And if God were not real and Creator God were not real in my life, then I would not be here today, and my daughter would not have a mom. So I am living testimony that there is a Creator God that's real, that looks after us, that wants the best for us, that wants us to connect to our soul's purpose and to respond to the calling that's on our life. And that's part of the reason why I offer life coaching sessions and self-mastery sessions and all the different specialties that I offer, and why I've continued my education in this calling that God has for my life. I've been studying the law of nations for the last 3 years for my scholarly work. Can't believe I'm so blessed to be taking my first course in a private university on economics, marketing, sales, creating an economy, and that's so important. As being children of God, we're created to create our own economy. Like, we're here to create our own economy as a nation. And for a short amount of time, I was chairwoman for growth and expansion. However, I realized that there are people that don't want to grow and they do not want to know the basic foundation of economy and connecting. And when people are living a facade and they're living a fake life and they're in denial and they're just wearing a mask and not being true to themselves, it's really hard to establish authentic relations. So I prefer to only connect with people who have done the inner work and who are pure of heart, who have gone really deep within themselves, and who are in their journey of self-love. I want to share a couple of scriptures really quick. At this point, I'm not going to get into which translation this, which translation that, because it's the words that are the most important right now, and speaking out the word for our lives. And one of the first ones that I want to read is 1 Corinthians 8:6, and that is that God is the source of all things. And someone asked me the other day, who is your source? Right? Because I refer to Creator as source. And when we go within, our needs are met. When we don't go within, we go without. God is within. Okay, God is not this angry patriarchal male that is separate from us or angry with us or distant from us. Okay, Creator is within, waiting for us to connect, to become one, to have so much connection that there's that atonement, that at-one-ment process. And when we go within, that's when our needs are provided for, when our source is our provider, our protector, our comfort, our shield, our waymaker. So Philippians 4:19 says that God liberally supplies every single need. There was a time in my life where I met somebody who was like proclaiming to be like this like medicine person or this whatever. And he made it seem like that it was like a bad thing to need or to like mention that we have needs. However, it's absolutely natural to have needs. Okay. It's absolutely natural to have wants. And so we should never, ever, ever, ever feel bad or guilty or shameful for having needs or for having wants. Okay. It's completely natural to have needs. It's completely natural to have wants. And what I've been practicing and what I've been doing is I just started joining groups and just like connecting with people to where I feel like a certain level of safety with. And I'll just say, like, hey, I'm just going to share my needs. I'm just going to share like things that I need right now just to put it out there to the universe because Creator God created the universe and we are the universe, like all of us collectively, because Creator God created the universe. And here we are. We're here now for such a time as this. And so, like, I'm just getting comfortable with like vocalizing and expressing my needs. It's really important that we are able to safely like express that. And I didn't have that with biological parents. I still don't have that today. So, like, what I'm doing is I'm trusting Creator God is going to bring the right people into my life where I could just like express those things. Like, one of my needs right now is I'm getting really clear on who I want to have as like a next roommate or for the next chapter of my journey because I want to like have somebody that is like inspiring that like me that I can like co-create with, who's on the path of being like an entrepreneur in many different ways like me, because not only am I a life coach and a life mastery coach and a talent coach, I'm also a very gifted artist and clothing designer and a business woman and a creator and director. And I have a private company that's in hiatus right now that I have in trust that is called the Rainmakers Productions. And I'll probably change it to the International Rainmakers Productions. So to connect with other nations, and create with God and like co-create something really beautiful and amazing. So I've been getting really clear about the next chapter in my life because I want to live in an environment where there's like beautiful energy flowing and high vibrational energy and like people that are focused on their health and their highest and best life and who are not afraid to just like dive into life and experience all the goodness of life that the gift of life has to bring. So I really want to share that it's a good thing to express your needs and it's a good thing to express your wants or your prayers or your intentions. To create new chapters for your life because our life is a story that is just waiting to be created and told. So, the next scripture that I want to share is that God will throw open the doors of his skies and vaults. Like, that's huge. Like, just throw open the doors. Like, so everything that we need, like, okay, here, I'll just throw open the doors for you, and it just is all going to show up and appear. And it's really good to speak these words out because when we speak these words out, it develops our faith and it develops our trust with ourself and our creator within. And
That's part of the atonement process, the at-one-ment process. And another scripture is Psalms 121:2, and that is, my help comes from God. Okay, so we're never, ever, 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 ever helpless. We're never alone. Our help comes from Creator, and our Creator is within. Our Creator is everywhere. Our Creator is omnipresent, and our Creator is our source and within. And when we go within and we connect, then this miraculous supply and the need and everything just shows up. So we are not helpless, and we are never alone. It's beautiful to have like-minded friends, and it's beautiful to have people that we can trust, and it's beautiful to have beautiful people in our life that have done the inner work. Okay, so we know that they're not gonna like turn on us or like turn into some personality or turn out to be like liars or frauds or hypocrites and, stab us in the back and all that. However, it all begins with like doing your own work, and then you'll attract other people who have done the inner work. And that's when the true beauty of life begins, because then you start attracting people that are authentic and real, who have done the inner work like yourself. And that's a beautiful gift. When life gets hard, or when life gets rough, or we're not really sure where to turn. Somebody showed up for the live the other day, and they were taking asylum in Spain because they felt like they were being targeted by energy weapons. And that's okay. That's okay. If you want to seek asylum, however, we are to take refuge in asylum in God. And what that means is, when things get rough and we feel like we're being attacked by the outside world or anybody, whether it's our family or our friends, or, an ex spouse, or an organization or anything else, take refuge in God. And what that means is go inward. What I do is I wrap up in my comfy blanket like I am now, and I get still. And the scriptures say, be still and know that I am God. So you just get still, and you take a break from the outside world. And you take refuge in God, and you go deep within yourself. So you got to get still. A lot of people don't even know what it means to get still. They don't even know what it means to get quiet, go within the self, and the power of that. So, let's see. That's all I'm going to share for now, because that's huge and that's deep and that's a lot of stuff. And what I've shared in the last 1 hour and 12 minutes and 38 seconds is more than what most people actually attempt to even go deep within themselves in their whole entire lives. So anybody that is even watching this right now, I applaud you, because most people are not willing to go deep within themselves, or even love themselves, or do this type of work to know themselves, or to take the steps to know themselves, or to invest in their own life. And I have a special right now with what I'm doing, an introductory offer for those who want to work with me as a coach, and a talent, a self-mastery guide, and self-development, self-love, self-honor, self-respect. And that is for the first 3 sessions, to pay what you can afford. Okay. And there is a requirement to pay something, because it's an energy exchange, and it has to be even, and there has to be an exchange, and you have to invest in yourself, because money is currency and it likes to flow. So it's just a balance, and it's a law of nature, giving and receiving. And I work with barter too. And, I think that there are good things with that. And I think we'll eventually be going back to like a money currency system that is included barter as well. And the free market is a very, very beautiful gift to have, the free market. And investing in yourself is one of the most beautiful things that you can do because it's lasting, it's eternal, right? That's how powerful you are. That's how powerful we are. So I'm going to leave it at that. Trusty the medicine doggy, he's asleep. He's out. Oh, I woke him. Alright. So I'm gonna go hang out with Trusty the medicine doggy. And I'm gonna go give him some mama love. And I'm gonna send out just a message to my daughter Freedom that I love her very much. And that I know that she's going to listen to her heart. And I know that I want her to know, like, I'm just so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. She's perfect to me. And one of the things that Creator God says about us is that we are perfect and we are without blemish and that we are without spot. And I encourage everybody else to see themselves in that way. And to forgive yourself for all the things that you didn't know before you knew it. Okay? So this is She That Exists for the She That Exists Her Story channel. And I'm going to be back, especially with my flower, especially with my flower experiment that I have right now with the, do the flowers last longer with the plasma energy water or the tap water that is filled with fluoride, which is a known toxin and poison. Do not drink the fluoride water. It's poisonous to your body and it calcifies your pineal gland and it separates you from Creator God and from your own consciousness. So please email me at shethatExists@protonmail.com with any questions, like any questions that all these flowers are so pretty. Look at these roses. Look at these roses. Okay, little acts of self-love and oh, take action for yourself. And do things that make you like proud of yourself. Okay? Like even if it's just like facing your fears, do something to face your fear and then you'll know it was just like an unknown fear and you'll be so proud of yourself because you did something to face your fear. I'm going to paint it tomorrow and I'm going to come back and like show you my next steps on it and how I painted it. And I'm probably going to use a lot of glitter. A lot of glitter. I love glitter. Okay. So this is She That Exists with She That Exists Her Story channel. And thank you. Thank you for watching. And not just watching, but connecting. And going deep within yourself. Because God is within. Creator is within. And when we connect to that, and we love ourselves, and we trust ourselves, and we accept ourselves, and we believe in ourselves, then we come to know ourselves. It is one of the most beautiful gifts on this life that we could ever have. So I want to encourage you to keep going. Keep going. And dive deep, 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 deep into yourself because it is worth it. And it is the most beautiful and amazing journey that you will ever have. And Creator God has given this immediate, like immense gift, this powerful gift once we go within inside of ourselves. And once you take that dive inside of yourself, it's going to open up whole new worlds that you did not even know exist. So I'm She That Exists, and this is She That Exists, Her Story channel, and